And here we go. Okay, time for some UFC 108 pick'ems. I got them written down right here. I don't do prelim fights unless I go there live because I don't know if I'll see them or not. So, yeah, that's just what I do. Normally this would go up on Thursday or Friday before the fight, but it's Wednesday, and I got a lot of stuff I got to do, so we're going to do them now. Starting with the Spike card, I got Cole Miller versus Dan Lazon. I got Dan Lazon here mainly because it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Miller has that boxing, but I had a feeling Dan, whose brother fights on the main card, has the wrestling, so he should be able to control the fight more. That's how I'm seeing this going down. So I got him by submission. Round 2. I don't care about picking rounds. If I pick the guy who wins correctly, I'm happy inside. So then we got Martin Kampman and Jacob Volkman. I got Kampman by TKO here. Volkman is a submission guy, and so I got that going. He's got that going. But Kampman, he is much more, I don't want to say diverse because he's got that, he's just, all I'm seeing on Wikipedia is Muay Thai, while Volkman is mainly submission, BJJ, wrestling. So Volkman could win by submission here. This was one of those few ones where I was like, this is kind of tough for me because it really comes down to takedown defense. And I'll get into that more with later fights that offer me this problem too. But I got Kampman by TKO here. Round 1. I don't know. Okay. Now I'm going off of how Wikipedia has the card rundown. So we're going to start with Junior Dos Santos and Gilbert Yvel. And Yvel is making his UFC debut. Yada yada yada. Dos Santos was originally supposed to face Gonzaga, and then Gonzaga got staph. I got Dos Santos by TKO here. He's been on a bit of a hot streak as late. I don't think the caliber of competition in his last 2 fights have been that good though, because yeah, it's Crow Cop and I love Crow Cop, but Crow Cop is very hit or miss now, it would appear. And Stefan Struve, he's still got work to do. He's one of my guys I'm kind of looking forward to seeing him develop more, and I really wish he'd learn to work a jab. But yeah, I got him over Yvel TKO. Yvel proved to be some good striking here, but something tells me Dos Santos is going to take this one. Then we got Jim Miller versus Dwayne Ludwig, if you're, because oh well. I didn't write down how I say he's going to win here, so give me a second. Dwayne Ludwig, Jim Miller. Oh yes, this is one of the other ones that got me thinking here. Miller's mainly BJJ and wrestling, and Ludwig is Muay Thai. I like Muay Thai. It's a really awesome striking form. So, but see, when it comes down, this is how I see striker grappler fights coming down to. It comes down to wrestling and takedown defense, because if the grappler is screwed if he can't get him down. So it comes down to A, how good the striker's takedown defense is, or B, and how good the submission grappler guy's takedown is in wrestling. So I think he's going to have that edge there, so I'm going with Jim Miller by submission. I didn't write down a round. Then we got Joe Lazon, who's Dan Lazon's big brother. And Sam Stout. I got Stout in this one by TKO or KO. One of those two, something with a K and an O in it. I just gotta. I will admit I haven't seen that much of the older Lazon's work in his fights, but I know he's mainly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, submission, that type of thing, while Stout is much more striky. And he's got that edge there, so I'm going to go with the guy who has the slight edge. And we got our co-main event, and it's kind of funny that Martin Kampmann's fighting on the same card as the guy who last beat him, except that guy's now in the co-main event because of various injuries and pullouts, and this card's cursed. I want this card over with. And that fight, of course, is Dustin Hazlett versus Paul Daly. I got Daly in this one. Now, Hazlett, great submission guy, and this is the main crux of, like I've been saying, if it's striker grappler, grappler's got to have good wrestling and or judo or whatever to get the guy to the ground, because that's where he can grapple most effectively. Daly, though, in his fight with Shields, gave him a tough first round, and Shields is a good wrestler / submission guy. So I'm thinking Daly here by strikes, for sure. TKO, I think I wrote down a round on this one. Oh, I didn't. I said TKO or decision. He's gonna either do one of those two, unless I think Hazlett can take him down, which I don't think he can. Not effectively, though. I'm pretty sure eventually this fight will go to the ground, but I have a feeling Daly will be able to survive and then come up and hit him in the face. That was very blunt of me. Okay, and then we got the main event of Rashad Evans versus Thiago Silva, which I'm interested in this fight. It looked like we were promised like 3 title fights, and this fight and the Joe Santos fight with Gonzaga, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is the best card ever. One, we're never going to get 3 title fights on one pay-per-view. 2, just stuff happened. It's the fight game. Stuff happens. It's out of our control. Still an interesting fight here. I have Thiago winning this, but this was a hard call for me. One, I must say, in the posters they're putting out, Thiago looks like a stone cold killer. He just has that look in the eyes of, I'm gonna like stab you, or like just hitman, cold as ice. I feel like he's got the better striking here. And he is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is something I haven't really seen him use in his fights, in UFC at least. Rashad Evans, great wrestler. He's kind of shown, though, and admitted that he likes he likes striking. So I wouldn't do that. I see, if Evans were to win this, I see him pulling not a boring Couture Vera type victory of him just holding him up against the fence here, because I think Silva would have the brain power to know to not let himself get controlled that badly. But if Evans were to win this, he's going to have to go back to his wrestling and take him down and try and control him that way. But and he's got Greg Jackson telling him, talking in his corner. Okay, Greg Jackson, great mind. So that is one thing, but that's too much of me to take a risk on. So I got Thiago Silva here. I say TKO in round 2. So yeah, that's the full main card and spike card rundown. Just to recap here, I got Dan Lazan over Cole Miller, Kampmann over Volkman, Dos Santos over Ivel or Yavel, however you say that name, Miller over Ludwig, Stout over the other Lazan, Daly over Hazlett, and Thiago over Rashad. And even if Rashad loses, they're still going to do Rampage Rashad. Okay? That fight is money. Both guys could be on 2 fight losing streaks, I bet, and they'd still print money with that fight. It might not be like the main event, but it'd still be a good fight. I want to see that fight, even though I think Rampage would win. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, give me your picks. Go check out my blog. The written, more in-depth Pickems will be up shortly after this. Follow me on Twitter, comment, rate, subscribe. Search Massacres MMA on Facebook, and you will find the fan page for this, because I am a self-promoting whore, and I am all down with that social networking garbage. So yeah.